Hello beautiful booktubers, this is just a really quick video because I've got to go out in about half an hour. I'm going climbing. It is Friday night when I'm filming this. I realise I've not done a wrap up since mid-April, so I thought I'd best do one. So the first 4 books I read were actually graphic novels, and the first 4 volumes of Outcast. Outcast has also recently been made into a TV show. The long and short of it is, a guy lives in a small town. He's basically a bit of a recluse because something happened to him and his wife and they're split up and they no longer really speak. And weird things go on around him and in the village, and people are starting to get possessed, and this all meets in the middle and it goes from there. And I was hooked. I think I read all 4 volumes in 2 days. Absolutely loved it. The graphics are really dark and grainy. I haven't got it here to show you, I don't think. No, I haven't got it here to show you, but I borrowed them off a friend, so she also has volume 5 that she's going to give me. So yeah, really love the series. Can't wait to see where they go with it, because obviously I don't want to spoil it, but as it goes on everything builds up and you start to realise that there's a plan and a specific reason why all these things are happening around him and to the people that he knows. Is that too spoilery? I might cut it out. Next is Bitten by Witch Fever. You'll have seen me talk about this book a few times. It's more or less a picture book. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll put some pictures up here, I think I've got some. And it's about the history of arsenic, talking about in the late 1800s when arsenic was basically in everything. It's a wonder we didn't die out, because over here in England, it was in the wallpaper, it was in the dye on the dresses, it was in the kids' toys, it was in the paper, it was in the health drops that people took. It was rife and it was poisoning people and sending them a bit crazy, or worse, they were getting ill and they were dying. So this is the history of that, but also in between the bits of text are absolutely beautiful reprints of wood pigeon. Absolutely beautiful reprints of specific wallpaper that they found tested positive for arsenic. And I just found it so interesting. It was absolutely wonderful, and it's a book that I'll probably revisit because it's quite inspiring when you're doing artwork and things like that. It's just beautiful to look at. Next up is The Coffin Path by Catherine Clements. Now, I went to run and get this book because I remembered that there was a passage in it that I wanted to read out. This is a story of a woman called Mercy Booth who lives at Scarcross Hall. She is a shepherd and she is the lady of the hall, but her elderly father still runs it, but his health is failing. And it's set on the Yorkshire moors, which is why I bought it, because for those that don't know, I do live in Yorkshire, and it goes from there. It's spooky and it's dark, and I don't really want to tell you any more than that, but it's so atmospheric. And Catherine, I'm out of breath just because I ran next door, and Catherine Clements' writing is just so atmospheric and wonderful. I really enjoyed it. So the way she writes really takes you onto the moors, and I'll read this one. Still he's making good progress, almost half his section now laid flat, the long grasses fanned behind him in the sunshine, freckled with the rainbow bloom of wildflowers. The girl is making a fair job of it. He shields his eyes from the glare and scans the field that stretch up the valley side to the lower fell. Above them on the slopes and crags, the sheep are scattered wide, left to fend for themselves on the higher ground until autumn. He feels bound to these pale skinny creatures in their new clipped coats, in a way that he has not known before, as if his own well-being is now tied to theirs. He is beginning to see how it might be to stay still for a while, to throw in his lot, and is surprised that he feels none of the usual desire to unhitch the shackles and move on. It says, one coin marks the first to go, and second bodes the fall. The third will seal a sinner's fate, the devil take them all. So it's kind of based on that, and it was just really a really enjoyable, creepy mystery tale. Last but not least is The Jim Dees by Tracy Baptiste. It's an Own Voices middle grade tale, taking inspiration from Caribbean folklore. It's about a young girl on the Caribbean island called Corinne Lemaire, and she lives in a house with her dad, and she goes into the forest, and one day a mysterious lady turns up and all is not as it seems, and the story goes on from there. And considering this is a children's book, this was actually pretty scary. These jumbies can look, well, there's different types of jumbies that all live in this forest. Everyone else has moved into the little villages nearby and sort of encroached on this forest, so the area for the jumbies has got less and less and less. And there's different kinds of jumbies. Some of them can look like people, and some of them are small and round, but everybody's really scared of them and they terrorise people, and nobody really wants to go into the forest, so it goes from there. And I just really loved it. I devoured it quite quickly for me, and I just thought it was a really enjoyable read. Tracy Baptiste is a great writer, and I loved reading about some folklore that isn't Western folklore, so yeah, that was really good. I am in the middle of reading, I feel like I've been reading it forever, but I'm reading Dracula. I've got this super pretty volume that you've probably seen me flashing around everywhere. And I've also started reading The Passage by Justine Cronin, and I'm actually doing a bookish read. No, I'm actually doing a buddy read with Bookish Mel, and it's a pretty hefty book, but I have to say, I don't have it with me, it's a pretty hefty book, but I have to say I am really enjoying it. I'm about halfway through now, and we're discussing it as we go along, and I thought it was going to be a bit of a slog, but it's absolutely awesome. I feel like this is a slog, I'm really struggling to get into it, but The Passage, absolutely devouring and cannot wait to finish it, so I'll wrap those up next time. But I hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe if you enjoyed them, and I'll be back soon with another video. Is that too many videos? Video. Big hugs. Bye!